Let's begin by thinking about the process of influence, persuasion, and presence in a way that feels natural and simple. The idea here is everything that you do is an invitation for connection, an invitation that can either be accepted or rejected based on how you express yourself. Now imagine you're entering a room. Within the first few minutes, something very interesting happens. People begin to notice you. It's not just your physical appearance that catches their attention, but something deeper. They feel your energy, your presence. And whether you're aware of it or not, they're responding to it. You might begin to wonder, how can you create this powerful presence? How do you control how others feel around you? Well, the secret lies not just in what you say, but how you say it. Your body language, your tone, and your words. They create a story, and stories, as you know, are incredibly persuasive. When you speak, notice the rhythm of your words. Are they calm, smooth, or perhaps quick and sharp? Each of these choices carries its own energy. If you match the rhythm of someone else's energy, you'll see them relax into the connection. It's like a dance. When you lead, you invite them into your world. They begin to mirror you, perhaps without even realizing it. This connection, this rapport, is the bedrock of influence. The more you understand someone's state of being, their emotions, their energy, their needs, the more effectively you can influence their state. Rapport is not something you do to someone, it's something you share with them. So imagine, just for a moment, that you're like a mirror that reflects their feelings, their words, their gestures. When you do this, they begin to feel understood. And in that space, you have the power to influence. The trick is subtle. You don't control them, you join them. You let them lead, and then you shift the direction gently, softly, like a gentle wave that nudges a boat in the right direction. There's a magic in the subtlety. When you connect on this deep, almost unconscious level, people feel heard, seen, and validated. They trust you, and that's where influence begins. In the space where you both just get each other. Now think about this. What happens when you stop echoing them? It's as if the light goes out. Their attention wanders. You lose the connection. But when you match their energy, when you echo it back, they engage. It's almost as if their brain says, here's someone who gets it. You become a part of their experience. That experience opens up space for influence. Your words are powerful, but only in the context of relationship you create first. Your body, your energy, your presence speaks volumes before the first word is ever uttered. The words themselves, while important, they take second place to the energy that you carry in the room. Do you remember when you felt truly connected with someone? It wasn't because of their words alone. It was the energy they carried, the way they made you feel. The trick, then, is to focus on creating that energy, that presence, and everything else will flow naturally. You see, when you communicate from a place of presence, your message carries a weight. You don't need to force or control. You can simply be, and people will respond. And here's where it gets really interesting. What if you could always be in control of your own state? What if, before you even step into a conversation, you could decide the energy that you want to bring? That is where the magic happens. Every conversation is an opportunity to influence, to change the dynamic, to shift the energy. It's not about tricking people. It's about creating a space where they feel safe, heard, and understood. And from that space, the influence comes effortlessly. Now let's dive deeper. The key to all of this is a simple truth. People want to feel validated. They want to feel understood. It's not about manipulating them or using tricks. It's about recognizing what they need and offering it to them with sincerity, with presence, with authenticity. Your skill is how you listen, how you watch, how you see what they need, and then offering it back to them. You create a space where they feel right. And when they feel right, they trust you. They listen to you. And that is where influence starts, in that moment of trust. Now imagine having the ability to walk into any room and to know exactly how to connect with anyone you meet. This is where the magic of rapport building comes into play. The beauty is, it's natural. You're not forcing anything. You're simply tapping into a space of shared human connection. And when you master this, when you really get it, you'll notice something amazing happening. Your presence, it'll speak louder than your words ever could. People, they'll feel drawn to you, not because you're using tricks or manipulation, but because you've created a space for connection, understanding and trust. And that, my friend, is where the real power lies. You may think of influence as a skill to be learned, but really, it's a state to be embodied. You're not just learning techniques, you're learning how to be the person who naturally influences. And as you practice this, you'll begin to notice how much easier it gets. The words become a background hum, and the presence you create becomes the foreground. The body language, your energy, your state control. They'll all work together seamlessly. You won't need to think about it. It'll be natural. So as you walk through the world, remember, influence, it isn't just about trying. It's about being. And when you're truly present, everything else just flows. You're beginning to see that the moment that you step into the room, you become more than just a person walking through space. You become a presence and energy that starts to shape how others feel, think and respond. And as you allow yourself to just be without effort, without force, you open up a new reality of connection, influence and power. What happens when you stop pushing so hard? You begin to flow like a river. You're not fighting the current, you're moving with it. Your words, they become a gentle current, effortlessly guiding those around you, pulling them into your world, drawing them into your rhythm. And you begin to realize it's not about what you do, but what you bring. The energy you carry with you, that quiet confidence is magnetic and you can feel it. And in this space, you know you don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to force a connection. Because when you know what you want and you choose how you'll be in that moment, then the rest just falls into place. This right here is where influence starts. It starts within you, your energy, your state. It's always been there. You've always had it. You simply need to be the version of yourself that's aware of it. So imagine, just for a moment, the way it feels when you're truly seen. When someone gets you, they hear your words, but they hear them more deeply than anyone else does. It's like you've been given permission to exist fully. And isn't that what everyone wants? To be acknowledged, to be heard, to be validated. And that's exactly what happens when you begin to echo others. They feel right, because you've just made them feel understood. You match their energy, their rhythm, their flow, and in doing so, they invite you deeper into their world. So think about how people respond when you give them exactly what they need. Without saying a word, they soften, they lean in. There's a connection there, a shared moment of understanding that goes far beyond the surface. And in that moment, the world is theirs. They are themselves, and you've simply been the mirror that allowed them to shine. Now as you play in this space, imagine how easy it would be to move from one person to the next, one conversation to the next, without ever losing your sense of self. You shift, you flow, you adjust. With each adjustment, your presence becomes more magnetic, more aligned. It's as though you've tapped into a secret language, one that goes beyond words, a language of the body, of energy, of states. And the more you move through this world, the more you begin to see it's all energy. When you can hold your state, even in the most challenging of situations, you're free. You become the person everyone is drawn to. And when you begin to lead with that quiet strength, that subtle influence, everything changes. People follow your rhythm. They begin to mirror you, not because they have to, but because they feel good when they do. And every time you engage, you've created a space where they feel validated, seen and right. This subtle shift that you make in their energy can change the entire trajectory of the interaction. And they won't even realize it's happening. They'll simply feel lighter, more open, more connected. And that's because you created the space for them to step into their own power too. It's not about them following you. It's about you both moving together in a dance, a rhythm that neither of you can resist. It's almost magnetic. You can walk into any room, meet any person, and feel this connection begin to take form. It starts without effort, without overthinking, without trying to do anything. You're just there, and in that moment something shifts. Their energy shifts, and they feel it. And do you know what the most powerful part is? You're not doing it to manipulate them. You're doing it because you genuinely want to connect. You see, influence, it isn't about using someone. It's about creating an environment where everyone is allowed to be their best selves, the most empowered self. Influence happens when you create that space. A space where they feel safe, heard and seen. When you echo them, you show them they're valid. And through that, you start to weave a connection that runs deeper than words could ever convey. So let's think for a moment. What is the power in echoing? Why does it work? It works because in that moment, you make the other person feel right. When they feel right, they feel safe to open up. They start sharing more, connecting deeper. And you, well, you're just there, in the flow with them. This becomes effortless. You start small. You start paying attention to the way people move, the way they speak. You watch their gestures, their posture, and you begin to respond to them without thinking. Your body mirrors them. Your energy matches theirs, and in doing so, you begin to connect with people on a level they haven't experienced before. Can you feel it? The power of being present with someone. The power of creating connection. It goes beyond the surface. It's an invisible thread that binds you together. It's not about what you say, it's about how you feel and how they feel when they're with you. And the more you practice this, the stronger the connection becomes. You begin to walk through life knowing, at any given moment, you can shift the energy in the room. You begin to see how influence isn't about manipulation. It's about being so aligned with your own energy, your own presence, that everyone around you is drawn into it. They follow you, not because you force them, but because they want to. They feel good when they are with you. They feel seen, they feel heard. And you simply become the one who creates the space for them. You begin to understand your state is everything. You don't need to try. You don't need to struggle. When you control your own state, others will automatically mirror that. The key to it all is to simply be present with your own energy, allowing yourself to feel confident, to feel connected, to feel right. And when you do that, the rest unfolds naturally. So now, just imagine yourself in any situation. You walk in, you breathe, you stand tall. And in that instant, you have the ability to change everything. You start to see how easy it is to flow with the conversation, how effortlessly you can adapt to their energy, how your presence becomes the very thing that draws them in. When they lean in, when their eyes soften, when their posture mirrors yours, you'll know in that moment you've created something truly magical. And that magic is not just in the words, but in the energy that you've shared, the presence you've embodied, the connection you've forged. This is the power you carry within you. The more you practice this, the more effortless it becomes. The more you feel it in your body, the more your mind aligns with it. Influence, presence, connection. They all flow from you, naturally, effortlessly. And in that flow, you realize the truth. You're always in control, but control, true control. It's not about force. It's about presence. It's about alignment. It's about becoming the energy that others are drawn to. And you know, in this space, you are unstoppable.